Hey guys, so I just watched the director's cut of Rebel Moon Part 2. Now, I already reviewed the director's cut of Part 1 as well as the original cut, so if you want to check those out, those are already on my channel. So you want my thoughts on why I didn't like the original cuts, what my expectations were for the director's cut, it's all there. So I'm just going to quickly go into reviewing the director's cut of this particular film and give you my quick thoughts on it. I think it's going to be a quick video because honestly, for worse, the director's cut of this movie didn't really change much.
At least I die on the side of honor.
Is there still such a thing?
So yeah, the problem.
Their wrath.
They dragged zero emotional investment in like the main characters, or like any of the characters at all almost. It really just felt like a very generic action film, even if it was nicely directed. In the director's cut, a lot of problems are still present. There's still zero investment in the team as a whole. I really didn't care if any of them live or die. So that really is a drag because the film hinges on this Seven Samurai-like team coming together. And despite this almost 3-hour runtime, it's still not there, and it really annoys me. And man, I gotta say it, but this film was packed with slow-mo footage of harvesting crops, which it kind of was. That was in the first cut, but I don't recall it ever lasting as long as it did in here. And I don't know if it's just me noticing it, or maybe they did add a lot of footage. But man, it was just really gratuitous. It didn't have any motivation at all, honestly. And at times, it just felt like a parody of a Zack Snyder film. Like Zack Snyder was parodying himself. But yeah, I thought it was a shame because that really didn't add anything to the film. And a lot of that should have been taken out, honestly. If anything, this cut should have been shorter. However, some things are improved I did like about the movie. Firstly, I felt way more invested in the village as a whole. Maybe not the Seven Samurai team, but in the village. Because you're seeing this village, fend its off from the evil forces of the Empire. They're making a last stand. And in the original cut, it just felt very generic. Whereas in this film, you do get to see more of the village, so you do get to know them more, and you feel a little bit more invested in them. And on top of that, same as the director's cut of Part 1, the violence in this film, the way the war is presented, it's not a generic action film. It's a horrifying war film. And so because of that, you're just seeing these villagers just get slaughtered and just vaporized. It's insane. But as a result, it definitely raises the stakes where you're not sure who's gonna live, who's gonna die, and there's a very fatalistic sense in that climactic battle. That to me helped me become more engaged in the climax of the movie, and it made it more entertaining. Versus in the original cut, it just kind of dragged. I just didn't care. I kind of wanted it to be over by then. There is more heart to the action as well, besides just being viscerally disturbing, because I'm also invested in the main character Cora in the director's cut, which is helped from the director's cut of Part 1, but in this cut we see even more of her backstory, we see more of her romance, and because of that, the action has more ethos packed into it, so it becomes, not just boring action for the sake of action. It's actually meaningful and motivated. This film, I think, also introduces a lot of like interesting lore compared to the original cut. Very bizarre, more so than the first part. Did make me invested, where I want to see more of this, to the point where like, hey, there's a Rebel Moon Part 3 and we get to see more of that. I will watch it. Overall, I think this is far less impressive than the director's cut of Part 1. But those changes were enough for me. It really was enough for me to the point where I wouldn't mind watching this again. I don't love it, but it is what it is. I want to give this film 3 stars out of 5. It's good. Could be better given the runtime, but I've seen objectively worse in both the original cut and some other failed sci-fi franchises.
Their wrath will be my vengeance.
Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you checked out the director's cuts of Rebel Moon. What's your favorite Zack Snyder film? If you are a fan of him, maybe you hate him, but I like him. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you next time.